What is going on, everyone? Adam Allard here with Pragmatic Ways, continuing on with our Java programming course. In the last video, we went through the process of writing our own Java program and then compiling that through the command prompt and then actually running that through the command prompt as well. And the way we wrote our program was just inside this basic notepad editor right here, just this basic notepad that comes pre-installed on Windows machines here. And this isn't really the best program to actually write our Java programs in. There's a lot of limitations by using just Notepad. So what we're going to do in this video here is we're going to download a specific text editor that's meant for developers. And it's actually called an IDE, or an Integrated Development Environment. And we'll see how powerful this is in the next video on why downloading this IDE is so important. But basically, it just gives us a lot of really useful tools that we as software engineers need while developing software. So to do that, again, we're going to use our best friend called Google here. So I'm just going to go into Google. And the IDE we are going to download is called Eclipse. So I'm going to type in Eclipse download. And I'm just going to search for that. And then right here, Google gives me this nice little cheat sheet right here, or you could just go to this one as well, Eclipse download. I'm just going to go to downloads there. And then perfect, it already figures out which version I need. Since I'm on Windows 64-bit, I will just download this one right here, and then click this download button. There we go. So now I will open this in the folder, and then, again, just a standard installation.exe file here. So I'm just going to double click on that to open it, and this will open up the installation wizard. While that's going through, I'm going to close out the rest of these files here. I'm actually going to leave that one open still. And then just give it a couple seconds for this to fully load up here. Okay, so the option that we want to choose is obviously this top one, Eclipse IDE for Java Developer, since in this course we are learning Java development. So I'm just going to click on that one, and then it should pre-install or pre-populate everything for you. So you really shouldn't need to change anything from these default settings here. So I'm just going to click on Install. And then I'm going to pretend that I read all of that, so I'll click Accept Now. And then wait for this to install. And then I'm going to accept this warning here, and I'm just going to choose Remember My Choice. Okay, and now it's finished downloading. We can see a little icon got installed on our desktop here, and I'm just going to click Launch here. And let's see what this looks like in here. All right, so it's asking us where we want to create our workspace, and essentially what this just means is where we want to store all of our files and our working documents as we're developing software. So I'm just going to leave it in the default location that it told me to. And I'm actually going to use this as the default and then do not ask me again. And then click on Launch. All right, and now that it's fully loaded up here, I'm going to maximize this window here. And I can close out this one, that's not a problem here. So now that Eclipse is open, we're going to create a new project here. And we're essentially just going to recreate the previous project from the last video, but we're going to recreate it inside of Eclipse now. We're going to see how much easier and better it is to use this Eclipse IDE as opposed to the Notepad application that we used in the previous example. So to create a new project, I'm going to go over to this left-hand side here, and I'm going to click this button here, or this link that says Create a Java Project. So I'll click on that, and then I need to give it a project name. The name doesn't really matter. I'm just going to name it Hello World. And then I'm going to come down here and select Finish. And then it's going to ask me to create a module. I'm actually going to say no, I don't want to create a module at this time. And there, now the project is created. I'm going to go over to the Package Explorer pane over here, and I see this new Hello World project that I just created. And I'm going to click on this arrow to drop down the folder system here. And now I see there's two folders in here. There is the JRE system library, and then there's another folder called SRC, which stands for source. This folder is going to be where all of our source code is sort of lives at, okay? So now we want to create a class inside of this project, and this class is going to be the exact same class that we created earlier in the previous video. It's going to be all of that. All right, but we're going to see how easy it is to do this inside of Eclipse. So I'm going to highlight this source folder here by just clicking it, and then I'm going to go up to the top, and I'm going to go to File, New, and then I'm going to select Class. And now this class name right here, I'm going to name it the exact same as before. It's going to be My First Program. And notice how I'm not putting .java at the end of it. It's just going to be My First Program. It's just going to be the class name itself. And then I'm going to come down here and click this Finish button. And now we can see what Eclipse does automatically. Is Eclipse automatically created the public, the class, and the class name for us. Added these keywords in here, plus the class name for us, and the opening bracket with the closing bracket. So that's obviously super helpful as opposed to when we had to manually do this inside of the Notepad application. So now that this line is already there and this line is already there, all I need to do is just copy and paste over the inside of this class here. So I'm going to highlight all that, press Control-C, and then come down here and just do a quick little Control-V, and then I'm going to do a Control-S to save it. And now I have the program inside of the Eclipse here. Now let's run it. Remember in the previous example, we had to go to the command prompt and then compile it and then run it. Well, Eclipse IDE actually has a compiler pre-built into Eclipse already. There's already a compiler essentially built into this IDE. So all we need to do is go up to the top here and we're going to see Run. I'm going to click on that and I'm just going to click on Run. Or we can see the shortcut keys for Control plus F11. And I'm actually going to do it using the shortcut keys instead. So I'm going to do Control F11 and we're going to run it. You might not have noticed it, but down here is where the output is. And we can see Hello Adam has output from the screen or from this program here. So I can expand onto this. I can say, Hello Adam, how are you? Just to prove that it works, I'm going to do a Control-S to save that, and then a Control-11 to recompile and rerun it automatically again. So Control-F11, and there we can see this new program automatically runs immediately. So we can see already the significant benefits that Eclipse has over just a basic Notepad. Is, it automatically creates classes for us. We have these line numbers here, so I can say if I were to have an error, let's say I forgot to put in the semicolon here, and then I try and save that. We already see right here there's an error here, and I can see a syntax error, insert a semicolon to complete the block statement. We'll get into why that's needed later on, but I'm going to try and run this program right now, even though knowing that there's an error. So I'm going to do Control F11 again. And we can see errors exist. Do you want to proceed? Let's just say yes, I want to proceed. And there, it even tells us right here, line 5, that there's an error that we need to insert the semicolon. So I can go right over to line 5 and say, oh, that's where the error is. I just need to put the semicolon back in there. So that's another big benefit that Eclipse gives us. So now that you have Eclipse installed, I'm going to end this video here. And then in the next video, we'll start looking at a couple more cool features of Eclipse. Just to make us, make sure we're using our tools properly and know how to use our tools at maximum efficiency to make ourselves the best software developers possible. So if you haven't already, like this video, make sure you subscribe. Head over to our Facebook group, the Software Engineering Mastermind group. A link to that will be in the description below. And until next time, happy coding.